So I just finished Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and I realized that the Donkey Kong series has always been one of my favorites. This newest addition in the franchise does not disappoint, with new things to experience on every level. I had so much fun playing this game, and Retro Studios has done the series proud. In the process of rekindling my love for the DK games, I decided I will officially declare the month of April Donkey Kong Month. To kick off this new tradition, let's look at the bosses in these games. Donkey Kong isn't really known for having the best boss battles in gaming, but if nothing else, they've stuck around in our brains since childhood. Some of them are pretty good, but some are pretty bad too. So today we're going to look at the top 5 best and worst bosses in the Donkey Kong Country series. Let's start with the best, then we'll have some fun with the worst.
5.
Unlike most people, I actually really do like Donkey Kong Country 3. I think it expanded the series in a good direction. The first boss you fight in this game is Belcher. He's different from most other bosses because instead of hitting him 3 times to kill him or something like that, you have to make him eat bugs, burp, and push himself backward until he falls off the ledge you're fighting him on. If you mess up, he'll jump forward pushing you back until you could fall off the ledge yourself. If nothing else, I liked this boss fight because of its uniqueness.
4.
King Zing Sting. This is the boss that scared me most when I was a kid. You actually get a glimpse of him before you fight him in the level before it. You're minding your own business, going through this peaceful beehive level, and then... Holy crap, this guy made a little pea come out there! Then you have to fight him as a parrot, which is awkward and difficult. I remember dying over and over to this guy. Then you kill him, but he transforms into a bunch of smaller bees. I think this boss gave me nightmares, but I give it props for being terrifyingly memorable.
3.
Bashmaster the Unbreakable. This is the boss I liked most from the newest game. It was a lot better than this. Ugh. Anyway, you come into this level and the dude is relaxing, enjoying a delicious treat, but what do? Come in and mess up his day by making him lose his popsicle. Understandably, he gets mad and challenges us to a battle. I just like this guy because he slowly turns into the Kool-Aid Man throughout the fight. As his fur gets stained darker shades of purple, the angrier he gets. This was just an overall fun and enjoyable fight.
2.
I loved DK64 and played it non-stop as a kid, but the older I get, the more I realize it was a pretty bad game. Not a lot of the levels were super memorable, and it just got a little annoying having to do each level 5 times to get different bananas. Dogadon, however, was the boss that sticks out to me most in the old memory banks. The second time you fight him is Chunky in particular. This fight is pretty tough, and you gotta kill him before the lava takes over the platform entirely. Like King Zing Sting, he's scary, and it just felt awesome getting all huge and beating this guy up.
1.
Out of all the bosses in the Donkey Kong Country games, nothing sticks out to me more than the original showdown between you and King K. Rool. The music is some of my favorite video game music ever, and I like how the pirate theme spilled over into the second game. This was also the first fight I remember having a fake ending before you fight the second phase of the boss. After finally vanquishing our foe, we get the teaser ending, then he gets back up. My mouth hit the floor when I saw this for the first time. It was just a cool fight and really tested everything you've learned up until this point. King K. Rool would return for many fights later on, but this showdown was my personal favorite. Now let's look at the worst bosses.
5.
I like a lot of the bosses in the Retro Studios games. They don't seem to get too repetitive, but Colonel Pluck was a pretty annoying one. He moves so slow and you have to wait for him to finish his phase before you can hit him. Plus it's just really hard, so if you die you gotta go through the whole fight again and wait around yawning while it takes forever to step around the stage. Waiting does not equal excitement.
4.
A lot of people think DKC2 is the best game in the series, and while it is a lot of fun, Cudgel is a particularly low point in the game. First of all, he's just a palette swap of Clubba. You know, the guy you have to give your coins to reach the secret world? Although this is a little lazy, the true fault lies in the battle itself. Move, jump, move, jump, move, jump, throw. Move, jump, move, jump, move, jump, throw. Hit me cakes as fast as you can. Much like Colonel Pluck, there's a lot of waiting, and again, waiting does not equal excitement.
3.
So DKC3 added this new minigame where you can throw balls at targets in the background. This looked really cool on the SNES and let you feel like you're in a 3D world. For some reason, however, Rare decided this was cool enough to just turn the exact same thing into a boss fight. Bleak, while different from your typical boss, just doesn't feel right. The fight's supposed to cap off the area you just completed, but instead it just feels like Swanky's bonus bonanza got taken over by a snowman from a horror movie. Also, how do snowballs hurt a boss made of snow? If you're still not convinced this boss sucks, listen to this. What?
2.
You know what's not as cool as fighting King K. Rool? Fighting a cardboard cutout of King K. Rool. Sure, it's comical and I guess a little original, but I mean, really? It's like the budget ran out halfway through production. It probably is done in a tongue-in-cheek way, like they're very self-aware of how silly this is, but man, it looks like Sharknado had a bigger budget than this boss fight. You just hit the cutout and it falls backward and that's it. The fight doesn't get any better later on or anything. It's also super dark, so you can't really see anything. Instead, you just get to listen to this awesome voice the whole time. What's worse than a cardboard cutout version of an actual boss in the Donkey Kong games? Well, it's pretty hard to beat, but I think when the game calls a boss dumb, it probably has to take the cake. Dumb Drum is definitely the worst boss in any Donkey Kong game ever. Even as a kid, I was like, really? Is this the best they could come up with? I know a lot of bosses are just reskinned, harder versions of earlier bosses, but practically anything would be better than this oil drum that you yourself named as dumb. Nothing menacing about this at all. The whole fight just consists of you surviving waves of enemies he pours out on you. You never actually hit Dumb Drum, it's like he just gives up after you beat all the enemies. He goes, "Oh no, I guess there's nothing I can do now that you've moved around so much. I guess I'll just self-destruct now." No boss is quite as bad as Dumb Drum. There are plenty of bosses I couldn't quite fit on this list, and you probably thought of some too, so put your favorite or least favorite bosses from Donkey Kong in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the first ever countdown video in Donkey Kong Month, and I hope to see you around more often. Please feel free to subscribe or check out these other videos while you're here. I'm Snowman, and I'll see you guys later.